Hi everybody, welcome back to Joe Is. I'm Joe, and this is War on the Sea. In last episode, we did manage to sink another Japanese battleship. The Big E is still in the area and still on the hunt, so maybe we can get that last battleship before we send her back to base. But if it is what it is, I will catch back when we do make contact. Task Force 14 has managed to make it back to head base. We'll go ahead and top them off full of supplies again and troops, and we'll get them sent back. I think this will be the final blow, and we will be taking the Florida Island. Also, the Hornet has managed to make it back to Rennell Island and is going to unload all her cargo and then return back to base. So I'll get the ship a little closer, get that done, and I'll cut back when there's something else to see. Alright, Task Force 14 has managed to make it back to the Florida Island. We'll go ahead and unload them cargo. Let's see where we're at now with the Florida Island. We are a little over half. We'll probably do a couple more runs just to make sure we collect it, but as long as we can keep off the Japanese reinforcements, we will take this island. Next will be the island of Guadalcanal. It'll be a little bit of a tougher fight, but once we do, we can start building an air base on it, and we'll get the command victory points. We got our 180 command points back from all of our repair ships. We've got quite a few points, so I'm going to go ahead and think about what I want to do with them all, and I'll get back with y'all. Well, I see it only fitting to get the Indiana and South Dakota back in the fray now that they're back and repaired. And we will continue our plans like we had before we were so rudely interrupted by the Japanese. We still have two of the ships just north of New Hebrides that are from the original task force. We'll go ahead and get a couple more heavy cruisers, a couple more light cruisers to top off the battle group, and they will be ready and battle worthy. I'll get them sent up north. I think we attack the southernmost Japanese base besides Guadalcanal, which actually has an air base on it. If we can get the battleships in range, we can bombard the island and therefore neutralizing the enemy air power on that base. At least that's the plan. We'll see if it goes to plan. Alright, we've got the battle group set up. Let's go ahead and reunite them with the two ships that were left that were unscathed from the last battle. We'll get them joined up, and we will have a flotilla that is battle-worthy. While we're up, I think we go ahead and get us another carrier since we have the points. We'll have a destroyer escort them to meet up with the Enterprise and relieve her of command. We'll get the Enterprise back to base and released and repaired so we can get her aircraft crew up to full strength so she can make a glorious return. Because the Japanese do have their carriers out there somewhere, and that is the real threat. We haven't seen any of them yet. I'm curious as to why we haven't. We haven't even seen any of their air power show up. They've just been showing up heavy in the battleship department. So we'll see if we can't hunt them down in the future. Alright, Task Group 50 is now ready to go. I think we go ahead and just slide up right up the slot using our other ships as screening for our main battle group. We'll come up through the Guadalcanal Islands and in through the slot and make a beeline for the Solomon Sea. Task Force 15 has managed to make it back to base. We'll go ahead and manage our cargo, get another supply going to Rennell Island. We'll go ahead and top them off. I believe we'll go ahead and start thinking about setting up a cargo group that goes up and takes Guadalcanal, or at least begins to. Maybe not in this episode, but we'll definitely be thinking about that in the next 2 or 3. Task Group 14 has managed to make it back to base again. We'll go ahead and do the same thing we've been doing. That way we don't take supplies from Rennell Island just yet, because I'm trying to save those up for Guadalcanal. Alright, the Big E is managed to make it into Task Force 50. We'll go ahead and split groups and merge them with the other fleet and take the Enterprise out of action so she can get some much needed R&R, get her crew rested, her ship repaired, her aircraft crew topped back off, so that she can continue the hunt in the future. Task Group 14 has managed to make it back to the Florida Islands. We'll go ahead and drop off cargo again. Also, Task Group 50 has managed to make it inside the slot, getting towards the Iron Bottom Sound area of the Guadalcanal. And from there, we'll continue up the slot to attempt to bombard enemy positions. September 18th, 1942, just before noon, our main battle group of 50 has managed to make contact with an unknown enemy force. Odds are high that it's the aircraft from the initial island. We'll go ahead and take a look-see here. Go ahead and get sonar and all that stuff activated, and I'll cut you back when there's action to see. Well, it was a false alarm. It was probably a submarine that just was too far out of range to make any kind of contact with us. So we'll go ahead and proceed forward. Okay, nope. Task Force 50 has made contact again, this time by aircraft, as you can see above the ship. And they are bombers. So let's go ahead and get this in a circle group, as I believe these are going to be dive bombers. That way we can put up a decent flak if we all encircle each other. I'll go ahead and get to the battle map and see what happens. I was trying to make this approach at night, but it just didn't work out very well, and I was already committed, so I was like, might as well just send the ships in. This is what you get when you rush things. Here are 4 Japanese bombers. They're heading straight for, I'm sure, our capital ship. They seem to particularly target those the most, as I would as well. But with these ships being just 4, I probably would go for a light cruiser or a maybe even a cruiser, but they are not going to, I guarantee it. Our flak's now starting to begin to fire up on the enemy. I do like the look of the Japanese airplanes. They got very broad wings, but unfortunately it makes them a very broad target, which I'm thankful for. Our flak is not very effective, as this is a pretty green crew, but it is a tremendous amount of flak, so hopefully we'll bring something down before we take any hits. So far, no luck, as not even one of them has taken any sort of damage. I believe these are dive bombers, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there we go. We got some damage on a couple of them now. But they are very close. I think they're going to get some away. There's 1, 2. Oh, looks like 2 of them got their bombs away just before exploding. Oh, a couple hits. A couple hits on the Indiana. Let's look at the damage. Minor. Yeah, our repair crew will be able to... Oh my god. Oof. As I was saying, our damage crew will be able to shrug this damage off in no time. I think we don't turn around. We are still very much ready and able and combat effective. So we'll go ahead and get this damage repaired, and I will cut you back when there's something to see. Alright, damage is all repaired. We'll go ahead and go back to the campaign map and continue with the bombardment plan. Alright, we got another encounter with Task Force 50. It is just afternoon. And let's begin. It's probably another submarine contact. We've had a couple of them trying to enter this area, but none of them have managed to make any sort of headway in catching us. We've been faster than they can get to us, thankfully. So we'll go ahead and slow down the battle group so that we can try to get a good sonar read on them. Go ahead and get a pretty view of our collective fleet here. As you can see, right in front of us is the island. Okay, it's a ship. Uh-oh, no, we have a surface contact. A small Japanese attack group. Looks like it's missing one. This is one of the survivors of our previous forays. As you can see, that light cruiser behind this heavy cruiser is taking damage. So let's go ahead and get our ships turned around and into formation to attack. I do have to say, what a beautiful day to have combat. See, as flat as it is, our guns are going to be very accurate, which they should be firing from the battleships any time now. We got a couple of our heavy cruisers back there popping off rounds. There we go. With our main battleship guns, I believe that their guns are going to be way out of range, so we're going to have the initial barrage advantage before they get within range. I'm surprised they're not retreating. I think I would, because I would realize I'm way outgunned, and it's time to send in the carriers to handle this. Because you do not have the firepower, and what you're attempting to do right now is pretty much suicide. Let's go ahead and look over here. Should start to see shells fall in some point in time near here. That cruiser is taking evasive action and is able to fire. Our first couple of volleys seem to be pretty far off. Oop, that was a pretty good volley. Go ahead and fast forward time here a little bit. Looks like they're starting to take evasive action against us. I think this cruiser's decided that we don't need to be here. They probably didn't see our battleships until just now and have realized they have made a very big error in judgment. The light cruiser here. She looks like she's in decent condition. That one behind this destroyer, however, is not looking so hot. Since they're starting to retreat, let's go ahead and full on charge them. That light cruiser is barely making any kind of headway. I think she's not going to make it out of this fight. And she cannot keep up with her friendly ships. And I think we're seeing them encircle each other because of the speed differences that they can make. They're attempting to defend the light cruiser, but they're just basically getting themselves killed. Looks like we've already managed to make at least one hit on the light cruiser. Although we really need to be targeting the heavy cruiser, which I have selected, but AI has decided that it doesn't want to do that. They are laying smoke, which will throw off our guns a little bit, but if we get within range close enough, it won't matter. Ooh. USS South Dakota almost took a couple hits there. Looks like they wouldn't have been too much damage in the first place, but not ideal. Alright, we got a 2-column going here. Much better, with the battleships leading the firefight. Probably should go to a line ahead, but being that this group is in such disarray, I think this will be the best having them up front. Because they can sponge some of this light damage that these destroyers and light cruisers can put out better than any of the ships that we have. And until we destroy that heavy cruiser, I don't feel like it would be smart to send out anything other than the battleships forward. Alright, you can just start to see our ships entering the area. Been a whole bunch of spraying and praying, but not much contact has been made so far. Hopefully that'll change shortly as we've identified the Megami class heavy cruiser and her battle group. And it seems like the fire is starting to get a little more tighter on the group. We gotta watch out for this light destroyer here, or light cruiser, and her torpedo spreads. We also have to watch out for them destroyers and their torpedo spreads. They have yet to fire them, but it is something that we have to keep in the lookout for, because as we knew from the last match, those things are pretty much a pain in the butt. So we'll try to keep an eye out for those as we continue to spray and pray and attempt to bring down this group. Oh, we've managed to get one of our ship has taken damage. Looks like it is our lead battleship, the South Dakota. She's got one fire on board and light damage. Nothing too bad. She can definitely get this repaired. We don't have to slow down just yet, which is good because, as you can see, we can see the enemy now. They are in visual range. We're not just shooting over the horizon of the Earth anymore. All right. Looks like we have finally made contact with one of the enemies. Oh, and we pulled back just in time to see a collision. Looks like the Japanese Megami heavy cruiser has taken a hit and has slowed down considerably. Whether it be by our fire or by the help of her own destroyer, she's slowed down considerably, and we are now should have easier time making a target of her. She's starting to speed back up, so I think that's what it was. Hopefully we'll get some rounds on her before she's up to full speed again. Oh man, rounds all around her. This destroyer is starting to get secondary shot at her, which will be more than enough to handle her. Ooh. Any second now. Bunch of hits. That heavy cruiser is looking really low in the water now. They're laying smoke like crazy. Yeah, they're furballing up like this. It's just going to make our targeting easier. I mean, if we miss one, it might hit the other one. She is fire all up midship. Looks like we managed to put one of our fires out from a distance. We are very well within visual range. Targeting should be through the roof, even with the smoke. As you can see, those bracketed her. Next shot should be hitting. Continue to bracket her, but we just cannot seem to make it. Alright, this destroyer is pulling lead on the fighter group as they do a carabine circle on us. Ooh, that's a direct hit. I think that was a battleship hit shell too. Yeah, she's listing pretty hard. And she's out of there. She took off. Leaving the heavy cruiser to her own demise. As you can see, it's starting to list pretty bad as well. She may even be sunk already. I didn't see the call for it. Oh, direct hits. She's dead in the water. That'll be one IJN heavy cruiser Megami class heading down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, she's done. There's no coming back from that. We are so close, we can't miss. This destroyer on the second hand is... let's go ahead and target her because that heavy cruiser is done for. Yep. And now we'll go for another ship. Alright, don't have time to do my normal montage of it sinking since we've got another 5 more ships to handle. So let's go ahead and target, I wonder what that light cruiser is. We'll go ahead and head off north a little bit. That destroyer is dead in the water and done for. Got this light destroyer still trying to run away. She's already taken some hits from the looks of it. And she's not long for this world as well. Man, we have devastated their fleet. There it is. Another one. Alright, we've got one last ship to deal with. One little destroyer. And she's already heading to the bottom. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's episode. I will take that as a very successful episode. Next episode, we will attempt to continue our mission to bombard the Japanese island, destroying their air power. And I will catch y'all in the next episode. God bless all of y'all. Peace, love, tacos. And I'm out.